evening. Here is top news newsletter, starting with headlines. Syrian army intensifies operation in Idlib, kills many terrorists all across the country. Saudi Arabia moves 3,000 Takfiri terrorists from Syria to Yemen. US cop charged with the murder over shooting a black man. The army unit thwarted a terrorist attack against Maksar al-Hussein village in the eastern Homs. A group of terrorists tried to infiltrate Maksar al-Hussein from the direction of Hawa village but were repelled and held back by the army members. Many of those were killed while others managed to flee toward the desert. An army unit targeted gatherings and dens of terrorists from Islamic State in Iraq and Syria in the western of the city of Dar Hasaka. The operations left tens of ISIS terrorists dead and weapons and ammo cache belonging to them destroyed. Vehicles with a machine gun mounted on them were also destroyed. The army carried out a series of concentrated operations against Jabhat al-Nusra positions in the northern Idlib city. Military sources described the operations as a successful one, as they have resulted in killing and injuring scores of the terrorists. Units of the army and armed forces destroyed several dens and vehicles used by Jabhat al-Nusra terrorist organization during operation in Aydun village in the southwestern countryside of Salamiya city in Hama province. All terrorists inside the vehicles and on the board of the vehicles were killed while their weapons and ammunition were destroyed. Yesterday, terrorists targeted Salamiya city with the 2 rockets, killing at least 7 people and injuring scores of them. Units of the army and armed forces destroyed a vehicle of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria terrorist organization at the northern entrance of Deir ez-Zor city. Units of the army carried out a direct blow against the vehicles of ISIS loading with the arms and ammunition at the northern entrance of Idlib city. Units of the army and armed forces directed heavy strikes on the dens of Jabhat al-Nusra terrorists in the village of Mshahara in Quneitra province, killing and injuring a number of the terrorists. Saudi Arabia has relocated a position of its operatives from eastern Ghouta and Damascus countryside to Yemen aboard the ship. The Jaish al-Islam terrorists landed in the port of a city of Al-Mukalla, provincial capital of Hadramaut province, and joined the Al-Qaeda terrorists in the province. The Al-Qaeda-linked terrorists attacked and took control of Al-Mukalla port 2 days ago. Other sources had informed late in March that Saudi Arabia has dispatched thousands of Takfiri terrorists to Yemen to fight against the revolutionary forces in the Arab country. The Yemeni commander meantime disclosed that the Saudi defense minister had asked Turkish officials to pave the grounds for the transfer of move terrorists from Turkish airport to Riyadh. He noted that a heavy clash broke out between the terrorist group and the forces loyal to Yemen's revolutionary committee. Colonel al-Bushali retreated that Saudi Arabia is plotting to hire mercenaries to assist supporters of Ansarullah movement, including the movement representative Abdelkarim al-Khifani. The clash between the Yemeni army supported by popular committees and the Saudi-backed loyalists of the outgoing President Abdrabbu Mansur Hadi continue in the southern part of the country, as Saudi Arabia has been striking Yemen for 14 days now. The Saudi-led aggression had so far killed at least 906 Yemenis, including hundreds of women and children. Yemen's Ansarullah movement announced that 2 tanks and 1 armed vehicles were regained after expelled Al-Qaeda's terrorists and Hadi's militiamen from the city of Mala in Aden. Ansarullah added that 15 Al-Qaeda terrorists were arrested and scores were killed after the group's militants were expelled from Zanzibar-Aden highway. Police have arrested 9 people in Catalonia, Spain, suspected of links to the Islamic State group. The operation included raids in the Barcelona and Tarragona areas. Those arrested are suspected of crime linked to the jihadist terrorism, particularly to the Islamic State group, as the police added. Gulf states submitted a draft resolution against Yemen at the United Nations Security Council, turning a blind eye to the Saudi-led aggression against the poorest country in the Arab world. The draft resolution also circulated by Jordan, which will hold the routine presidency of the Security Council for April. It demands that the Ansarullah revolutionaries, who are also known as the Houthi, withdraw from Sana'a and all other areas seized since 2013. The text has drafted under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, which means it can be enforced by militant action and sanctions. The resolution also slaps an arms embargo on the Houthi leaders and their allies. It demands that the UN blacklist Ansarullah leader Sayyid Abdul Malik al-Houthi and Ahmed Saleh, the son of the Yemen's former President Abdurrabbu Mansour Saleh. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Inas Ahmed. Good night.